Right, welcome. Episode 3 of the Aussie Red Show. Andrew and I just finished watching the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game at Anfield. Very underwhelmed, as you all probably share that same feeling. I'm going to go straight to our host now, Andrew, as he was very, very frustrated and wanted to share some points straight off the bat. Hence why we're doing this podcast straight after the game, which is amazing. So, mate, straight to Andrew, mate. Let's address it. What happened?
Putting Milner too far forward. That was the
Okay.
start. I mean, obviously, like we've got the injury crisis. We're all aware of that. But I go back to thinking we had enough both games on the field to win those two games. Period. And I'm in favour of new centre midfielder, 100%. But we still had enough, and we've gone down twice. So a team that got promoted and a team that could get potentially relegated. And we've gone down by one goal starting up. Now in the first half, I just think obviously we couldn't finish.
Yeah.
We weren't. I mean, we had okay. So you've got Nunez, and or just trying to play in the high balls. Liverpool, that's great. I like that alternative, but it was like always looking for him. Our passing was very telegraph.
I noticed that. And look,
Palace knew what we were going to do every single time.
as good as Darwin Nunez is at nodding that ball down because he's tall and he can get to those balls, but that's not what we've been doing for the past number of years either. Like, just because we've got him in doesn't mean we need to start. Like, don't get me wrong, it should be an addition to the attacking player that we've got, not a number one route kind of thing. And I know we were trying to attack down the flanks with Salah and Dares and that, but yeah, I found that a little bit like it was getting a little bit too.
Well, playing too aggressively route one football though, and honestly, man, I wish I recorded it. I said to myself, I was watching it in the kitchen, and I'm going, this is a game where we're going to have 50 chances on goal, and like remember the old games against Stoke and West Brom, where we have like 60 chances on goal. We have like 85% of the possession, and then in the 89th minute, Ryan Shawcross with a header, we lose 1-0. And
that was like where it was going, wasn't it? But we'll get to obviously getting down 1-0 soon.
We'll get to the second half, but let's stay on the first half.
Yeah, we'll stay on the first half. Yeah,
it was just continuously route one football, which we're not used to. We don't play. It was telegraphed. They knew what we were doing, and Crystal Palace is more physical than we are. And when we talk about the second half as to why we, even with 10 men, why we started opening them up, I don't feel like we played our game in the midfield, but then we trying to knock it along. And it was just frustrating because we weren't playing our sort of short passing, opening them up. Now, this is a game where we needed a player like Thiago to
100%. That's the first thing. That's the first thing I thought of too. I said, this is a game where Thiago
not
would have.
Milner. Milner's good. Milner's an off the ball.
But again, who else have we got there? Because Thiago's out for 6 weeks, as we both know.
Well, actually, young Harvey Elliott for me was standing out.
Which I was going to. He was up until probably when
Henderson came on.
Well, Elliott was unreal. He was man of the match for me. But then Diaz probably may have stole it towards the end because not only was he attacking, he was running back. And I said he tracked back and took the ball off Zaha, which was looking to be a shapely counter attack by Palace. But yeah, Harvey Elliott in that first half, he was really unlucky not to get that goal in a way when you cut in on the edge of the box there and he beat a couple of players and it was just a good block by the defender. But
all our really good chances. I know we had a few good chances. Like Nunez did have. Let's stay on the first half because I have a lot of on the second.
Yeah. Of course.
With the first half, I think we did knock it long, and Nunez did have a few shots. The one where he he sort of miscued it and it hit the post.
Yeah.
That was when we were charging, we were running forward, and the long ball and the cross in. All that makes sense. But when we're continuously just trying to knock these long balls, James Milner going forward, which is for me, is absolutely useless for me. Like he might do one or two things. Not a player. It's not the guy I want behind. I would have just preferred to try to Get the ball, Milner, and pass it. Don't try to do anything too complicated. And same thing for Phillips. So for me, telegraphing, I don't think we did a whole lot wrong in the first half. I think we just.
I thought the intensity was fantastic in that opening. It was unreal. Like you're looking at the game like this is the Liverpool that we watched last year that we're winning all the time. You think, it's only going to be a matter of time. I mean, the current Liverpool team under Klopp, when we're on the attack. Back when you touched on the whole, back in the days when we dominate and have 20 shots on goal and lose 1-0, right?
Yeah.
I don't get that feeling, I haven't had that feeling in the Klopp era for a number of years because it's only a matter of time before we just get a goal, or 2 goals or 3 goals, right?
Yeah.
Whereas 10, 15 years ago under Rodgers and Benitez, the later stages of the Benitez or anything like that, you dominate and you think, oh man, they're gonna sneak one on us, but I guess that's where the frustration lies, that we just weren't kind of with all that possession that we had. We weren't really even we had shots, not many on target, by the way, and I think it was only I think by the time Palace scored in that first half, I think we only registered 2 on target compared to 10 or 12 shots. I can't remember the exact stats, but with all that possession and I guess the other frustrating thing is that a lot of teams do, and it's that they just throw every fucking shirt behind the ball. That's how they. And I know you can't blame that, and that's how they play. That's how they're gonna. Because I know from a Crystal Palace point of view or any sort of point of view, the moment you try and play a possession game against us, you're going to get smashed.
But the thing is, when we had Coutinho, Klopp had a really, which was actually so surprising. I'd never seen it before in 26 years of watching football. He put Coutinho in midfield, and I remember seeing those games when we had the magic. We had the 4, right? We had the Mane, Salah, Firmino, Coutinho.
Yeah.
And in the games where Klopp knew we were going to have all the possession, he would put Coutinho in centre midfield. I'm thinking, why is he putting Coutinho in centre midfield? Knowing that the team's going to sit back, they're going to hit us on the counter. But when they sit back, he knew we had Coutinho who could just pop shots in from outside the 18-yard, right? So we were very unpredictable because if the team sat back, Coutinho would take pot shots. If they come out, Coutinho would feed the ball through to our front 3. It was genius. They didn't know what to do. We had a solution for either, whatever they do. It was a game of chess, and we were 1 move away from checkmate.
Yeah.
This game against Crystal Palace, yes, the intensity was fantastic in the first half. Yes, we had the possession, but we were a one-trick pony. Knock it long to Nunez. And a team like Crystal Palace against United, I think they're going to crumble. But if he's probably not going to make it now, I don't think he's going to make the game now. So
Nunez is out for 3 games now. We'll get to that part of the game later on because I have my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, so do I. I've got a lot to say on that. But I mean, but so for me, we were just a one-trick pony. We didn't have a solution. We know Crystal Palace was going to sit back. We had the intensity. Put in James Milner, but who else did we have? We had no options, and this obviously goes back to needing that centre midfielder who can open up play, which we need without our 7 or 8 injuries that we've got right now. We need that Coutinho, that one to unlock it. Now, Thiago is that player. I understand, right? But can Thiago do the Coutinho knocking it long, scoring goals from outside the 18-yard?
Yeah, well, how many goals has Thiago scored? They're not many compared to, say, when your Coutinho was running around. Again, not comparing goals-wise. You can't, but if we're going to compare goals, from their positions, Coutinho scored quite a lot of goals from where he was. Whereas Thiago, I mean, he's got the potential to. He doesn't get himself in enough positions to score. But
with the exception of Fabinho, I feel like we had more options in those seasons where, if they sat back, we had the golden gun. If they pressed us, which we love, we play the Gegenpress. So we had an option for either whatever they did. I don't feel like maybe because of the injuries. Look, maybe Klopp's got something up his sleeve. Young Harvey Elliott was absolutely amazing, but he's a young kid, man. He's a young kid. He's learning his craft. Same thing with Luis Diaz. For me, you start the game with Mane. We have that maturity. We let them get tired. We throw on the Diaz. We have that South American magic. we walk away with 3 points. So I go back to that. So I'm not going to go on like a beating drum, but that's my thoughts on the first half. Telegraph, one-trick pony. We had the intensity, but it was basically to a null effect.
Yeah, and just to say, still being in the first half, we obviously went 1-0 down in 10 minutes, roughly circa 10, 15 minutes before the break.
Do you think
Just
Van
talking
Dijk
about,
could have defended better?
this is my thoughts on it. Fabinho got skinned in midfield for starters. He went in and overcommitted, and he cut him apart. Played the long ball. I thought, I'm not going to blame Nat Phillips as much, although I think Zaha was ripping Nat Phillips quite a lot, and Zaha was really unlucky not to get a second there because Phillips again was caught out. No disrespect to Phillips. Zaha's a great player too. He's got some pace and strength. You need a Van Dijk. I was thinking. Look, I love Nat Phillips, and I think he's got a great career. But I think maybe I thought you would have been better off playing maybe a Canade in there with.
But he's injured.
But I mean, just hypothetically, I mean, or sorry, or maybe Gomez. I know Gomez isn't complete fit, but you see him come on. I just thought,
Gomez
but when that goal went in, Fabinho got skinned in midfield. Yes, Van Dijk could have come across and cut across more, but Nat Phillips kind of let Zaha escape him too. So
I like
you could see Nat Phillips was trying to play the offside trap a little bit too. You've seen him kind of stutter a little bit, and then that's all you need.
He was trying to be a ball-playing defender, Darren. He doesn't have ball-playing defending skills.
Correct. And don't get me wrong, Nat Phillips, he had some great moments in that second half, which I'll touch on as well, which, he kind of, but again, no discredit to Nat Phillips. I do believe it was a multitude of between Fabinho, Van Dijk, and Nat Phillips. I think all three of them could have done a hell of a lot. I mean,
even Alisson, really?
the biggest problem was, Fabinho getting skinned in midfield allowed I'm not sure who did the assist. I can't think of it at the moment, but he was the one that was allowed to throw that through ball through. And look, to be fair, it was a bloody great strike too to beat Alisson from that angle. I mean, it was great. It was a good finish. I can't complain.
When I first saw it, I'm like, couldn't Alisson have saved it? And then we're watching it on replay.
Maybe maybe like when you watch it, it was a powerful low hard to the far corner. Good. Like credit to Zaha's a great player. You know what I mean? He really is. Like he's got the strength and the speed and the finishing skills like that. And yeah, it was a bit disappointing to see Fabinho. And for us to concede like that, was disappointing to concede like that after we had that much possession. And you could see again. That's how Crystal Palace are playing. Absorb all the pressure, play the long ball to Zaha, and then what happened? They went up 1-0. And they executed their game plan perfectly, Crystal Palace.
In the first half, we lost the first half, we had 11 men, right? So this, and I look, from a observation perspective, the intensity is fantastic. I mean, I love it. That's why I struggle to watch the A-League, because the Premier League has that intensity. But here's a contrast of two teams. Totally opposite. Who walks away winning the first half?
Obviously Palace did. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So intensity is fantastic. Controlling the game is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right. And then obviously towards the later stage, the second half, you had Nunez that hit the post, which any other day it would have been to even hit the post. Salah was there, but it just bounced that awkwardly away from him as opposed to in front of him, and I was screaming at that point. I'm like, fuck, just get to the point where you get that frustrated. You just get a goal.
Your partner agrees with me because she wrote on Instagram, "Bring back Mane."
Yeah, see, Shan loves Mane, and and I was like, I do too, and we're gonna miss him this season, and it's clearly 100%. Evident already. Because Mane was that striker in games like that would score that goal.
And before him, like I said, go back to like a Coutinho when they're sitting back. Coutinho would love teams that sit back because he'll just take a pot shot.
Just take him on.
Either take him on or just have a shot on goal and probably score. Yeah. I just feel like this season, we're gonna struggle. And of course we've got the 7 players out, but Darren, I go back to the fact that we had a team that was good enough to beat Fulham and a team good enough to beat Palace, and at the end of the day, we walk away with 2 points instead of 6. So you can say, the injuries, absolutely. You can say that if we're playing Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal. Okay, we can say, well, we're going in, we've got players out. But that game, even with Phillips, which I would have preferred them, we just put Gomez in. I remember I did text you to say, why don't we put Fabinho in defence and midfield? But because we're so light in central defence, yeah, because we're so light in midfield, we needed him to not get skinned. Not get skinned and not play.
And again, like it doesn't happen to Fabinho often, does it? But
overcommitted.
He just and that's what happens.
The relentless, exactly, and he lost his head because his will to get the ball back.
Correct. Overrode his decision. Overrode his thoughts of just making a proper decision because the intensity was so high. So
and he's very good normally as a decision maker. So for me, young Harvey was great. Milner for me was just was totally wasted so many good chances. He tries to have shots miscued. Tries to do long balls miscued. Just play the pass. Same thing with Phillips. You're not a ball playing like without gegenpress. The way we play, we get the ball. We gotta. You gotta look for the pass. Look, man, just don't make the game more complicated than it needs to be. Your Nat Phillips, just pass it. Your Milner, just pass it. Just don't try to do the fancy stuff. And when a game like that, where the team is like working so hard to build the chances, and you keep squandering them. So second half, before I. Hopefully you're not going to say what I'm going to say.
No. Well, second half, it didn't start with the same intensity as we did in the first half. We were down 1-0, and I thought the intensity backed off. And those opening exchanges was a little bit slow, obviously for energy reasons and that like. But I guess it was really frustrating. I guess not much really happened up until Nunez got sent off, which is what I'm gonna come to, and then these are my thoughts on it. Look, Nunez. Look, don't get me wrong. I thought Anderson. Again, you're a professional footballer. You got to have a cool, calm head. You can't be provoked like that. Anderson come in and shoved him in the back.
Gone down.
Look, at the time, I'm thinking fucking sucked in, Anderson. You were asking for it, but then I seen the red card come out, obviously, and I was like, no way. I look at the replay, and look, it's a red. It is a red card. I mean, the moment you lead in with your head in, but in reality, mate, go down like a sack of potatoes. Just make. Yeah, but they're going. Every player's going to do that. They're going to fall to the ground and go. Ooh, and start crying. Like, come on, man. But they're gonna do that to Milk, and it worked for Anderson. He got Nunez a red card, and Nunez didn't have a cool head. He and now he not like a lot of people saying he cost us the game now. He cost us the game after that. He got sent off, and now he's out for 3 games. So he's going to miss United, Newcastle, Bournemouth. But
one good chance to pick up some goals.
100%, and that he'll be frustrated, very disappointed in himself, no doubt. But
it's a good lesson to learn, the kid.
Yeah, but it is frustrating. Like, what's that?
You know what's going to happen now on the red card is that guess who's everyone now is going to try to get a roll out of. Guess would you bear? Teams now, because he reacts like that, because Salah, when they would push him, he just takes it.
He don't care.
He'll just fall over and milk the penalty. Like, if that was Salah and he got pushed, Salah would have went down. That's the maturity of the game, right? He would have gone down, he would have rolled, and he would have Henderson sent off.
The
other way around. He's young, he's hot head, right? Because I was about to say he's a South American hothead, but that doesn't necessarily mean, because Firmino's South American. He's not a hothead.
He's cool. Yeah, correct.
He's cool, right? But he's just got that young, hothead, chip on the shoulder. And now, guess what? He's going to be a target now. So the teams like Watford or Watford, Bournemouth, Man United. I mean, if Maguire is smart, if he even plays, he's not going to.
Slab head. Slab head.
Second time we play them, the best way to stop Nunez now is get a roll out of him. That's it. So now what he's done is, people who've seen his reaction, he's lost his cool, he lost his head, he's going to be a target now. So, like Suarez, everyone knew Suarez was a hothead. Eventually, towards the end, after he bit Chelsea play, he sort of calmed down.
He's biting everyone. Yeah, he's like Pac-Man there for a bit.
and then he started to calm down, right? Because he knew that they're just trying to get him sent off. That's the best way. So now all Nunez did now for the rest of the season is put a target on his back, and they're going to kick him, they're going to push him, they're going to do everything they can to get him sent off, because he's the one everyone's talking about. Now for 3 games, we don't have a striker that we really need. All we need now, young kid, is more players unavailable. He's let the whole team down, and he should really come back and be prepared. He's going to have a target on his back, and to take it like a man. And if he gets pushed over, just roll around.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then we're going to lose.
I guess you just again, and you're 100% right. He reacted without a cool head and got sent off, and you can't do that. We put in a game where our first home game at Anfield, which I feel real sorry and disappointed for him that he could have been the deciding factor and score and got the winner, and now he's going to miss out on. Not only so he's missed out on the rest of the game, he's got 3. I'm like, God, I find that really harsh though. 3 bloody games from a straight red, I guess. But
yeah, but you know why too? It was violent conduct. It was still violent conduct, Darren. You can't react like that. Look, you can say whatever you want about the game now. The thing is, we can't have players headbutt.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the 90s anymore, man.
And it's a rule, and exactly right. And I guess that's a part of me that gets a little bit frustrated, and we've got to move with the times.
You can't headbutt people, man. You can't show acts of violence. You got to show the young teenage kids that this is not the way we play football anymore. And the thing is,
it's a shame, though. You've got to
let the club do.
Bring back the biff. No, I'm going.
If he wants to headbutt people, go on the MMA, right? Or the thing is now he's just, my biggest concern is he's just put a target on his back.
And yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And
So
just
just to summarise that, look, I'm frustrated. Look, it's the way the game is these days. Like, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't go out headbutting anyone on the field, right? Although at times you feel like
we don't condone violence on this podcast.
No, we don't. We certainly don't condone violence whatsoever. But I could see where Nunez was coming from, his frustration. But again, you're 100% right. He needed the maturity to deal with it, like Salah does, or like just roll with it, But unfortunately, due to his actions, we're gonna miss him for 3 games, and we're gonna the next 3 weeks are gonna look very, very bleak, I think.
Exactly. I mean,
not just because Nunez. I just think not just because the Nunez going up, but just the whole squad at all, right? So, which we'll touch on the United game very soon, which is obviously a big one, a huge game.
But the Luis Diaz goal.
Oh man, that was just absolutely incredible.
I mean, the second half, the amount of effort that kid put in that game, put everyone to shame.
100%, and like I said in the first half, I thought Harvey Elliott was going to be my player of the match, but towards the end, Luis Diaz, I mean, he showed, like I've been saying since the beginning of this podcast, he does not stop running. He's got a heart this bloody big, that kid. I tell you, he just run and run, and that's the kind of play. I tell you what, when we went
1-0 down, he worked harder, and when we went 1-1, he worked even harder again.
100%, and
he wanted
that goal he scored was an absolute screamer. Like, he beat 4 players on the edge of the box, and then he can't. I mean, what a goal! I mean, what an absolute.
When the 12th man was back into the club, this is a game where if we had Nunez, we would have gone on to win it. The momentum, the crowd, obviously, the Anfield's the best 12th man in the world.
100%, yeah.
Right, no question about it, right? It was all... Palace was shaky, they went 1-0 down, but the tracking back of that boy, to run back, to get the ball, to sprint back. For me, Harvey Elliott was the best player in the first half. Second half, Luis Diaz went to the next level, man.
Yeah. It's not to say that he didn't have a good. He had a really good first half as well, but yeah, the second half he just really shone, And then,
it was a brilliant goal, man. Like,
it was a screamer. Like, it was just, he danced around them, and he made them all look like witches' hats. You know what I mean? They were all rooted to the spot, like to the floor, and executed brilliantly. And then once that I felt an energy lift too. Once he scored that, 100%. And I thought we're gonna again. I felt like it was a game in Fulham where we were gonna go on and win it, but obviously that. And then you had some subs come on. So Robbo went off and Simcast came on, which again he had a real shocking ball game. Every ball he hit in that ball, you could see Klopp was, having a dig at him. I'm like,
I'm not
I think
as a fellow Greek, I'm not a fan of him. He needs a lot
yeah.
more
See,
work.
I love him. I really do. Like when he come on last season, he played a bit. Like he put in a good shift. I know you've always been critical of him since we've spoken about him.
Just a
But yeah,
massive
he
step down
come
from
on
Robbo.
and yeah, of course. But like he hasn't been too bad when he's good when he come on last year. But yeah, obviously, look, he might again. It's his first game coming in for a while, and yes, I mean he's whacking those balls he was whacking in there were just going to no one. They were so frustrating to watch,
And
and
then we
I
got
can
two.
understand why he took Robbo off because we've
hot
gone
head.
down. With that, we're gone down to 10 men. Robbo's getting tired because he's tracking back, and they're trying to cover. We're trying to cover as much space as
But he's
possible.
also it was also I think he was also on a yellow card, and I think the idea was look, Robbo,
Possibly, yeah.
Robbo, we can't if we have another player sent off, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
So we had to. But I mean, for me, like you look at Simicast, why would you be knocking long balls when we've got two guys up front, both better ball to feet, Salah and Luis Diaz?
Yeah.
Just hold the ball. Hold the ball. Put it back to the midfield. Play it back. We're just going to keep possession and look for the gaps. We're not going to... Now Nunez is off. Why are we knocking long balls? It's not... I mean, Salah's short, mate. Like, it's...
I know. Yeah. And
decision-making of Simicast was rubbish. And, but... Okay, Darren, let me run through the plays quickly. You give them a score out of 9. Out of 10.
Out of 10?
Right?
Righto.
Yeah,
yep.
I won't do it. You do it this week. I'll do it next week, just for time's sake. So,
Yep.
Alisson.
I'm gonna give him a 7 because although he did pull off a couple of good saves. Yeah.
Okay, Robertson.
Robbo, gonna go. I thought Robbo could have been better at times. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with about a 6 for Robbo.
Yeah, I agree. Simicast.
Simicast can get a 4.
Yeah. Van Dijk.
Van Dijk. Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, he was pretty solid at the back. Apart from that goal, I'm gonna stick with a 6.
Okay. Nat Phillips.
5.
Okay. Let's Gomez.
Gomez when he came on, he did all right. He did a shift. He didn't do a hell of a lot for me to kind of really give him a decent score. So, look, he held his position well. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Darren.
Just
okay.
7. Okay.
7?
Oh, just a score. Righto. Oh, yeah, give me a 7.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
He was quiet at times. He played all right. I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay, I'm going to forget all the players. Fabinho.
Fabinho, 6.
Henderson.
When he came on, I thought he did really well. 7.
Milner.
Yeah, I'm going to 6.
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, an 8.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah,
Diaz.
absolutely.
Actually, we'll come to Diaz last. Nunez.
Nunez. Yeah, he played all right. He's not on the board. I'm gonna go with a 6 for Nunez. Maybe even lower because of the red card. I'm gonna go 5 for Nunez.
I agree.
Yeah.
6. Salah.
Salah 6.
And the man of the hour.
Yeah, mate, 9 for Diaz. Just
I'm giving him a 10.
Non-stop
running. For the running, man.
Non-stop. Hard to
Awesome.
goal.
Awesome. All right, the final segment. Let's have a quick 10-minute chat about the United game.
Yeah.
I mean, who's available up front? Who's coming in?
Well, you're gonna. Can you see Klopp changing his tactics around a little bit, maybe, or is he just gonna stick and put Bobby back in that middle, and have Diaz and Salah running off him, which I think it just. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, maybe I don't think much is gonna change from that. I think. Look, talk about that. Look, we've got our issues at the moment. We certainly do. United have way much more. They have a lot more problems than what we do. I mean, they like for them get smashed 4-0 from Brentford on the weekend. They were 4-0 down inside circa 35 minutes. Man, they've got some serious issues going on in that club. And I know you got all the United fans carrying on about the Glazers, but the Glazers also gave them $1 billion or something to spend on players. They got Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho. They did have a wish list of players come in, and now they're sucking and carrying on about they're going to empty Old Trafford. Well, yeah, that's right. No one wants to go there now. Like they couldn't get Frankie De Jong, but they were pushing hard, and now they're trying to get I don't know, I can't remember his name.
They're going for
Nordovic.
Arnautovic. They're going for Arnautovic for a
That's
while.
right. Yeah.
The fans did a veto on it, like no, and then the club just went, okay, we better not get him there. It's going to piss off the fans.
And look, as like I said, I've shared my thoughts on my thoughts on Manchester United at the moment, or just in general. But yeah, I mean, maybe
But they're that
obviously
bad.
they're terrible, and obviously like obviously the culture comes from the owners down in that
Of
club.
course, any
But
business, it starts.
But for them to solely, the Glazers need to get out. They need to go. You're not doing anything.
No, there's a lot
Mate,
of fans that are against the place as well.
there
Yeah,
is, but
I mean,
I'm sick and tired. Like I got a couple of mates that are Man United fans, and they're actually says, the Glazers have got to go. Well, you're talking about the people that gave you $1 billion to build a team. They got to go. But I don't know. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to talk about too much because I'm just purely like there might be more problems that I don't even know about. Right?
Well, Gary Neville was like Glazers. I mean, now he's against the Glazers where they paid him for a long time.
I was going to say because Jamie Carragher goes, yeah, of course he's against it now because he's no longer on their payroll. But when he was on their payroll, he didn't. He was all about them. The Glazers. Look, Neville's I can't stand that bloke at the best of times. Anyway, he's a dickhead. Sorry, he's just an absolute flog, that bloke. And maybe it's because I hate Manchester United that much. He's just, I don't know. He's still trying to grow a moustache since the 90s, that bloke.
The thing is, what he said though was that Glazers only spend what the club generates. But Manchester, look, so does Liverpool, but they still generate enough money to really hire. The thing is, the only criticism I would have of the Glazers is you didn't hire the right people. Not about how much money they spent. I think Darren Neville's going off the fact that they took $24 million at the club. They took $24 million at the club and did it. Okay, Old Trafford is terrible and they need to fix it. Maybe he's got a point on the stadium, but you as a company owner, right? I know I'm like a peanut compared to United, but you do need to hire the right people, right? And maybe they haven't done that, and maybe they've hired, like, there's no sporting director.
Exactly, and that was what I was going to touch on. They don't have a sporting director, which
Nah, and it seems like, but to say that you haven't about the money thing is a bit harsh. I think they've spent a lot of money. The money that they generate, FSG don't spend money that the club doesn't generate. They don't. They're not like the band Sewer. They're not going to put money out of their pocket. Whatever Liverpool generates commercially, they put back into the club, and I don't even really necessarily like it. And whatever we generate from sales, we sold Minamino and Origi to basically pay for, I think, Salah's wages, right? I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but who's replacing those two players? No one. So our squad is smaller, right? For me, we got rid of Minamino to pay for Salah's wages. That, for me, that's what FSG do. They don't put money out of from. They're not going to take money out of Boston Red Sox to put into Liverpool Football Club. It's not going to happen, and that shits me off about FSG. It always has. I'm not FSG's biggest fan, so for me to come out and say Gary Neville's wrong about the Glazers, but to say that they put out 24 million, as you said, they put like $1 billion. Look, there's no reason for United to play like the way they did against Brentford. There's just no reason. The players gave up. The players shook this. Like when we went 1-0 down, the intensity stayed the same. Our mentality stayed the same for our problems that we've got. United just gave up. They sunk their heads.
And they got no heart in that squad whatsoever at the moment.
There's no heart.
There's no heart. There's no. So which we could sit here.
If we don't get the win, shame on us. There's no excuses. Don't come to us next week and say about the injuries. It's all bullshit. We have no excuse not to get a result against United, and I still think we had enough to beat Palace and Fulham. So
I agree.
We should have.
And and we're at Old Trafford next week as well, and apparently the fans are going to empty the stadium, so it might be a bit quiet there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Empty the stadium, as it works better for us.
Yeah, well, they emptied the stadium last year when it was 5-0, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think we've beaten them 5-0 this year.
I'm just saying last year they were talking about emptying the stadium this year before they go in there, and like they did a good job of that last year when they were getting smashed by us. So maybe they should just wait. Maybe they should just go in and just watch the first 45 minutes. I don't know, but no. Look,
It's the best time to play Liverpool now when we've
Correct.
got 7 injuries, we've got no Nunez.
And that's the thing that United will be taking into this game is the fact that we haven't exactly got off to a good start this season either. Although we're not capitulating like United are, but they might that just might give them an extra win in their sales to give us a little bit more of a game. I don't know, but
a game to turn the fans around would be this one.
100%, yeah. Look, I'm just devastated. Nunez is gone for 3 weeks now. That's just really. The more I think about it, the more I'm getting a little bit annoyed about it now.
Because he had 3 games coming up that he had a good opportunity, but he lost his head because he's young and he's arrogant and he's been puffed up with look how amazing he is. And look, I've been a fan of him, but
that was just stupid.
He's let the club down, he's let the fans down, and he's let his teammates down. So he needs to go off and make sure when he comes back that he pays us all back with goals and a good attitude. No more of this headbutt. If he gets pushed, go down. Get down. Who cares? Milk it. Get a penalty. Who cares?
That's it. Do something
Be smart about it.
Anderson probably should have got a yellow card for pushing him in the back, but I guess it was overridden by. He did. Did he? Okay, I missed that.
He got a
right.
yellow
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I guess I hope Maguire plays. He will.
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go if Varane is available. You've got to go Varane and Lissandro Martinez. You can't go Maguire.
Mate, I don't know why they keep playing him, eh? The guy looks like Chunk from the Goonies. Hey, you guys! I just don't know why.
And they call him McFred. Hopefully they play him.
I love the nickname Slabhead. That's the best.
Yeah, for Slabhead.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Mate. And if we don't get a result, we're going to be the ones not laughing, are we? Even a draw against United is a loss of 2 points. To lose, United's probably the worst team out of the 3 we're going to play in the first 3 games. So they're bottom of the table.
As weird as that sounds, that's true, and they are, they're the horrible ones. I mean, in terms of, for many reasons, but I guess it's again that game's done. We drew. We just got to move on. I mean, nothing but we have to win next week. We have to. We're already 4 points behind City, and look how marginally close it was at the end. We lost by 1 point, dropping 4 points at the beginning of the season. Look, again, it's early days. Anything can happen. City might have a torrid run at one point because they have been told they have had a horrible run in the past. I can't see it happening. I can only hope it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But the way we're playing, based on these first 2 games, which is,
Arsenal surprising me so far this year.
Yeah, I think again, you can't judge where we're going to, but judged on the performance in the last 2 games, I think we're going to be lucky to hit the top 4. Honestly. Yep. Judged on the performance in the last 2 games, we'll be lucky to hit the top 4. Tottenham are playing great.
They didn't play well against Chelsea. Still got the draw. And my dad's a Tottenham fan. And I said, well, that's a good sign of a good team. When you're not playing well, Liverpool, we should have won both games and we didn't. So what happens when we do have a bad game, which is inevitable? You're going to have bad games.
Yeah, that's right.
When we won the Premier League,
Fulham was a bad game though. That was one of our shockers. That first half was shocking, right? So we all
the first half
that.
was bad. Yeah,
but
we still had enough to turn it around.
Correct. We should have turned it around. But yeah, how about Tuchel? I don't know how to pronounce his name, and Conte having a mad.
Oh, that's great, man. That's good for the sport.
It's good.
We don't condone violence, but you need a bit of pack. The thing is,
which one of them headbutted each other? That would have been funny.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, look me in the eye, and you got the. I mean, they're both arrogant, chip on the shoulder managers, man. But at least they're showing a bit of passion.
What was it over? Do you know what was it? Just a multitude of things that went up in the game, or?
Yeah, well, they were clashing heads. They were just yelling at each other during the game. Yeah, I think Tuchel got the shit that 2 goals from Tottenham basically should have been disallowed goals. And then at the end of the game, when it went to shake hands, Conte didn't look at him in the eye, and he's like, "Look at me in the eye," and then they just had that bust up. So, I mean, Conte's like, "I'm not going to talk about it to the press," what I said to him, and Tuchel, I keep saying
Tuchel.
He was like, "Look, man, it's a bit of passion. It's nothing." He played it down, and I think it's good, man. Like you saw it with the Wenger and the Wenger and Ferguson, Wenger and Mourinho, Benitez and Ferguson. Like Keane said, everyone wants to be buddies with each other in the game, man. Like,
Yeah,
you
I know
need
it's true, but you
you,
need that bit of like mutual
you,
respect, but you want to go out and hurt them, not hurt them not ruin
you,
people's
you
career like
want,
Roy Keane did, but like, but you want
yeah,
to oh look, and to tell, obviously just to elaborate on that, that was obviously a retribution act from Roy Keane because
yeah, you
Alfie
need
Haaland,
it.
Erling Haaland's father, did a really stupid challenge on Roy Keane. I think it was the season before, and took Roy Keane out for the game. So he just went out with intent to just
Well,
cane.
yeah,
And you know what?
in his book, he
Like
admitted
I
it.
said,
He hit
like
him hard.
I've given my thoughts on Gary Neville, but like Roy Keane speaks sense. I can't help but love some of the stuff that he says. I think it's so
Yeah,
spot on. He's saying the stuff that we're all thinking that a
100%.
lot of pundits aren't really ballsy enough to say. He just says it how it is, and you got to respect him for that.
Yeah, well,
To be even though Roy Keane, yeah, Manchester United favourite, and he probably he doesn't like Liverpool, but I actually really like Roy Keane.
but you don't want him to
I
like
love his
Liverpool.
pun. I don't care about it. I just love his look. Judging on his punditry, I think he's unreal. I love some of the shit
Do you
that he
think?
says.
Do you think Gerrard would ever like? You don't want Gerrard to like United.
Nah, of
So,
course not.
so I don't.
No. I'm not trying to. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
So,
But
all right. Score predictions for the United game.
oh God, I've been so
Do you want
off
me to
with my
say my
scores
score?
the past. So yeah, no.
Didn't you
I
say
don't want you
4-0
to.
against Palace? I mean, I think
Yeah,
I
I
got,
did.
and I said 2-0. So I think I've edged you on
Yeah,
that
you've
one.
you've edged me. You're beating me 2-0 at the moment with these scores. Um, look, I'm gonna. I think it's gonna be 2-1 Liverpool. With scorers, I'm gonna say Diaz is gonna score again, and yeah, Diaz scoring, and I'm gonna just maybe Van Dijk from a corner or something, or a free kick set piece.
I'm going 1-0 because I was going to say
Okay.
2-1, but I can't agree with you. So,
So you're gonna go, yeah. So this is yeah.
uh,
Who's your scorer?
probably Diaz. Actually, no,
Yep.
I'll say Salah. You know what? I'm changing it. I'm saying Salah.
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 Okay.
Salah will probably get like a penalty and win the game. And then
Yeah, that 1-0 penalty.
United will give up and we'll just control the rest of the game. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go 2-0.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I'm changing it. Changing it. Changing it. I'm going Salah, Diaz. I'm going with a 2-0 win.
2-0 win. Okay.
You went 2-1.
I went 2-1. You went 2-0. Okay. Yeah.
I don't
Cool.
think, if they can't score,
Actually, they haven't even. They haven't even scored it. They've only scored one goal in 2 games, and even that was like an own goal or something, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. So they
2-1.
haven't even.
2-1 is the mature scoreline.
Mm,
Yeah, but I'll go 2.
yeah.
Because I think we'll have better defence. I think at least Gomez will play with Van Dijk, so we don't need to concede, and Fabinho won't get skinned by Fernandes or Christian Eriksen.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could. I
Again,
don't think
Bruno.
so.
Yeah. Good old Bruno. He's had a horrible start to the season.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening, guys. We'll be back. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, the Aussie Red Show, on TikTok, the Aussie Red Show, Facebook, the Aussie Red Show, and Instagram, Spotify. Sorry. Yeah, the Aussie Red Show.
You can go to AussieRedsShow.com.au, and there is links to these Spotify. We haven't put up our social media links yet. But yes, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and on TikTok.
That's it. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully, not too distant. Hopefully we get over it, and let's look forward to the next game now. It's against our arch rivals. Let's go there and get the 3 points.
If
Thanks for
you've got
listening,
score
guys.
predictions, let us know in the comments.
Score predictions. Let us know in the comments.
And your best 11. Cool. See you later,
100%.
guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.